What up, what up, what up? MissNoRearView here. How is everybody? Happy Sunday. Um, it's been a rough week, but here we are. We made it back to the back to a new week. I'm going to bring on someone that I met back in 2020. Young man by the name of Tyler. I was working in a residential all males facility for substance abuse and recovery, and I was also working on the detox portion. So when I was working on the detox portion, I was, literally dealing with people that were coming off of the streets here in the state of Pennsylvania. Some people would come from Jersey, but dealing with people at their lowest, fighting their demons, ready to cuss you the hell out, super sick, ready to leave as soon as they get there, you name it. So this young man's name is Tyler, and he is waiting for me to bring him on in one moment. He should be here. Like I said, I met this young man. I think the first question that I'm going to ask him is, why me? Why did you choose me to talk to? And I'm going to get that answered. He has some wild stories, so we're going to get through some of those stories. And if you bear with me one moment. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to put on a little beat. Here comes Tyler.
Hey there.
Hey, Tyler, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, hon. I'm learning all of these programs, so when you didn't come on right away, I'm like looking for where is he? Where is he? But here you are.
Yeah, sorry about that. It said like something about I had to install Google Chrome and all this crazy shit.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you ended up making it here. How have you been?
I've been good. I actually snuck in a nap before hopping on here. I ate too much watching the game, so that kind of happens.
Who's your team? What's your team?
I love the Eagles.
The Eagles? All
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Coopersburg, Pennsylvania.
And what is it like where you're from?
It's pretty much like an older community. You know what I mean? Not much excitement. Like you have like exciting towns around here. You have like Bethlehem, Allentown, places like that. Coopersburg is more of like a pass-through town between Quakertown and Allentown.
Okay. And Quakertown is what's in Quakertown?
I mean, that's pretty much like shopping, stuff like that.
How old are you, Tyler?
27.
How old were you when I met you? If I met you in 2020.
Yeah, I'd have been 25 then. 24, 25.
25. And when I first met you, do you remember? Do you remember when I first met you or when we first met?
Yes, I do. I remember very vividly. I mean, honestly, through the whole facility, you're the one person I remembered and actually stay in contact with. Um, so it's definitely nice. I can never forget Miss T. My whole family knows about you and everything.
Um, and I love to hear you say that, but that was my first question I want to answer. Why me? Like, why did you choose me? Because I know we got in some really deep conversations.
Mm.
Um, I know I'm always like a mother vibe, but why would you be attracted? And we're not talking about attracted, but just attracted to my spirit through your recovery. Why me? What was it about me that made me stand out?
It was definitely like you have an open heart and personality. You know what I mean? Like you can definitely tell that you've been through some crap too. So like, especially in like a facility, like a state-run facility like that and stuff like that, or like government-funded facility, whatever you want to refer to it as, you don't find genuine people there, especially that are working there. You usually they're going through the steps like a typical 9 to 5.
Oh shit! Did I hang up to him? Hold on. I kind of lost you there real quick. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So you said the state-run facility is like a typical 9 to 5, or
Yeah, like there's people just there like looking for a job, and then you meet like genuine people like yourself. You know what I mean? I think people that are looking to get their like life back together, or just you know what I mean, need like a helping hand or a listening ear, they find that in you. You know what I mean? With being like an open person and very warm, and, you know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? Like you said, you give the mother vibes.
that's dope. So it's not about me, but you know, I went and met hundreds of people. You know what I'm saying? And I too don't really mingle with those people. And you and I haven't seen each other since then, but we encourage each other still along the way. I see you growing from where we were. We're going to get to that in
Yeah,
just a moment. But I'm so freaking proud of you. And I'm so thankful that we have social media so that we can continue our growth together,
yeah, exactly.
Um, so the time that I met you, that was your like what's your drug of choice out of all of them? Let's just go with that.
So I started with when I was younger with like you know what I mean, typical drinking and stuff like that. English was like really progressed. I always hung out with like people older than me. So then they went to like heroin and then like methamphetamine. And when I was 21, I decided like I was working in like a slaughterhouse, dope sick. I was like 135 pounds my first time going into treatment. And really, I was just like, I called my mother and I was just like, I literally cannot do this anymore. Like, I'm so tired and burned out. So my first time going into treatment was, yeah, I was 21, never touched, you know, meth, heroin, anything since then. Um, and then what escalated into our second meeting, you know, I went to Florida and did a 6 month intensive outpatient patient treatment center. And
Nice.
you know, I mean, that's how I know the facility you were working at because my first time ever being to a rehab was there. So like
Right.
coming back the second time, like I felt comfortable. I knew how things ran. But what really led to like my second visit was you know like drinking constantly, really you know depression, drinking. Um, and I think like you know now that I look back on it, I'm like they really went hand in hand. Like I was drinking to cope with how I was feeling, and then once
Yeah.
I got to the point where I was just like now I'm dependent on drinking and I still have these feelings because I can't drink enough to get rid of them.
Right. And you were sick when you came to me, or when I first met you, right? You did the whole detox and then graduated to the residential facility. And was it a
No,
6 month program you did?
I came straight from Lehigh County Prison to
Oh
Pyramid.
shit!
Yeah, because
Right.
I did the 8 months in Lehigh County, got my plea deal, and came to Pyramid then, and did continue to do another 3 months there.
Wow. So, do you want to touch on your plea deal since you threw it out? What? Okay. So, what type of stuff did you do in your addiction? What was your lowest with the alcohol?
I would have to say, you know, the night I got in the shootout, you know what I mean? I mean, at that point in my mind, like I was already checked out. And I was telling like my family, like leading up to like the events, like something bad's gonna happen, man. Cause like the way I'm living, like I understand like the drinking will take years to kill me, but I was just like, so depressed. I had two friends lose their battle to like depression and substance abuse. They both took their own lives. So in my head, I was just like, you know what I mean? I've known these guys for over 10 years. I'm like, if they can do it, why can't I? And you know what I mean? I was just like, there's no way like I can hang myself from the end of a rope or anything like that. Um, so one of my family members called the police on me. They showed up, and it really proceeded into a full blown like shootout between me and Allentown police. I was hit multiple times, and like I remember just like laying there on the floor. Like a lot of people say, like, "Oh, when you're dying," and I'm like, you don't know when you're dying. You know what I mean? You're out of it, stuff like that. But like I really knew, and I even tell people at this point, like that was the greatest amount of peace I ever found in my life up to that point.
Almost dying?
Yeah, I
Or
mean, like it was really weird, because I was in there alone. I mean, I was in there. I was left alone for what, like 6.5 hours. Um, so like just knowing, like, hey, like I'm dying right now, and there's literally like nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? Because at that point,
so
it's
wait, when you say you were left alone, let me go back a little bit. So you were in the house and you're at this point a legal gun owner, right?
yes,
What how many guns did you have in your house and ammo?
I had three, and I had a decent amount of ammo.
Okay.
Definitely a decent
All right,
amount.
we don't a decent amount of ammo. So you're in your house drunk.
Yeah,
AF, drunk as fuck. And you called somebody in your family talking shit like I want to die.
I was talking to like a good family friend, and I'm like, dude, like I literally just like can't do this anymore. Like I'm so fucking tired of like living paycheck to paycheck, miserable, and like my relationships failing, my career's failing. I was just like, there was like nothing going right in my life at that point. I mean, like I literally could not catch a break. I mean, like I was with the same woman for 7 years. I'm like, I can't even like make this work with you. Like no matter how bad I want to, like I know this just like isn't for me.
Right,
Um,
right.
and at that point, like our son was only 3 months old.
Oh,
And then we got an argument. This all happened on Christmas night. I'm like, you got to go. Like, I can't do this anymore. And like, I kind of had it like predetermined in my mind. I was just like, yo, this is like it. You know what I mean? I don't want you to find me like this. I don't want, you know what I mean? Anyone I love to find me like this. I'd rather be like a whole bunch of random Joe Schmoes that have no clue who I am, toe tag, body bag, and like get me out of here. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I hear you, babe.
Um, I think it would have definitely been different. Like if I wasn't drinking, you know what I mean, throughout like the whole situation, the whole battle I was going through, um, I think it would definitely end it differently. But without, that happening, me going to jail, me meeting you, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I mean? And that is the biggest like telltale sign for me. Like it was a blessing in disguise.
Right. So when your family member made that phone call, you were in the house, the police came and knocked on the door, and you what? What did you do? Like
I started shooting, they started shooting, like chaos unfolded quickly.
quickly in a matter of seconds. And they hit you. Did they come right in and get you? You said they left you alone. So were you in the house like for 6 hours?
Yeah, 6.5 hours, somewhere in there. I think the standoff was like 8.5 hours in
Okay.
total.
All right.
But I mean, it was absolutely nuts. I mean, when I tell people now, they're like, "What the hell?" Because they don't guess like having a conversation with me. Um, and you never would.
Yeah.
It's just like when I open up about, it, they're like, "You do not seem like that type of person." I'm like, "Well, everyone has their limits, and they get pushed to them, and they handle them differently."
Yes, sir.
And I was just like, you know what I mean? I was at my absolute breaking point. So I was like, when push comes to shove, I mean, I definitely went for a shove there.
Yeah. Where were you hit at?
I was hit in my chest, in my side, and then the final shot went down, blew apart my the ball on the end of my shoulder,
Wow.
broke 6 ribs, and punctured my lung.
And you were just laying there.
Yeah, I mean, the blood was coming on me so bad. I remember like waking up because I blacked out. I remember like waking up and I'm like, did I leave the sink on? Like, what's going on? And my blood was running down my apartment steps that fast that I could hear
Oh,
it.
okay. Trauma alert. Tyler, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, trauma alert.
Yeah. I mean,
No, I know it's behind you, but yo, I come from a long line of alcoholics. You know what I'm saying? My stepbrothers look just like you. At the
mhm,
end of the day, we're all people. And I know that you and I had this conversation, and I know, like, I talked to you about my son that passed away.
yeah.
Um, I know that you're so freaking smart, and you're an amazing man. Like, thank God you're here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like a blessing, you know. At the time, like, and it was like crazy, like the sequent events, like that went down. I was in the hospital for a little over a month. I flatlined twice that night when they took me out.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, well, that morning, the following morning, when they finally like, were able to get in and get me out of the place, um, I flatlined twice. I was in a coma till New Year's Eve. Finally came out of it. And you know, when I was going to the hospital, I guess like they really didn't think I was gonna make it. I mean, like now that I look back at like I have my son back in my life. Him and his mother and I like have a decent relationship. You know what I mean? Like we communicate. We have a rough patches of time, yes, but you know what I mean? Like it's like that, you know?
yeah,
But it's a thousand times better now that like we aren't with each other. You know what I mean? I mean, we have like, you know, we get together and take our son out. Like, cause I never wanted my son to be raised in a household. They'd be like, oh, like, you know, my parents split up and this sucks. Like, I know when like he looks back when he gets older, like my parents love me so much that they took me out and did things with me together and like stuff like that.
yeah.
I mean, like honestly, like he's my like saving grace. Like keeps me going, keeps me pushing and stuff like that.
So let me ask you, you were in the coma, you got well, and at this point you were fighting for your life, shackled or handcuffed to a bed, or
Mm-hmm.
they had arms outside of your room all the time, or how the court
What you
system handle that.
what do you say?
I said, so when you were in a coma fighting for your life, did they have you handcuffed to the bed,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Like when I woke up, I mean, I remember like waking up and I felt like something in my throat, and I was like out of from all the painkillers they had me. But I remember very vividly like grabbing on the breathing tube they had and pulling on it a couple times. Like, oh, relax, like he's awake, he's awake. You know what I mean? And me just like freaking out because I didn't exactly knew what happened right away.
right?
Like I had no clue and everything. And then like I remembered and I was like, holy shit, like what the fuck was I thinking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like
Wow.
they had like 2, 3 guards on at all time, like the sheriff's office there, like making sure I didn't go anywhere. I'm like, where do you think I'm gonna go? Like I have 6 broken ribs. I can't even sit up on my own. You know what I mean? I was like, I just had my body pretty much ripped apart, you know, for them to save my life. I was like, where do you think I'm gonna go? Like really? Like you don't have to
Right.
leg shackle me. I'm not going anywhere. I can't run. Like, come on now.
Wow. And then, um, when you healed, what were you finally charged with?
I was charged with 5 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon,
Ooh.
discharging a firearm in a public dwelling, and like a slew of other charges.
And then you went to Lehigh County Jail. I mean, after you healed, when did you start healing, or the hospital released you? Then you went straight to jail. I know that, right?
They released me. I went straight to jail. I spent like a little over a month in the hospital, and they later accept me right to jail.
Right.
Um, and then like I guess like they had a medical like corridor unit. So like my first month, like I spent in there in like a hospital bed inside the jail. It was like the craziest thing ever. Like I've never seen some shit like that in my life.
Yeah.
Um, and then I was released into like general population then. Um, and honestly, like I didn't have any real problems in jail. You know what I mean? People have been there like, no, you
Right.
hold your own and you're fine. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like don't get caught up in any of the bullshit and you're okay. And I mean that's really what I did. I was just like kept to myself. Like I did a program in the jail, you know what I mean? Like a rehab recovery program in the jail. A couple months in, you know, they let me go do that. And it gave me like more freedom in jail and like kind of like helped me start realizing like, you know what I mean? Like shit, like this is like, you know, the way I was living wasn't okay. Like I knew it, but facing it, like knowing the way you're living is one thing, but actually like facing it and looking in the mirror is something completely different.
Right. Um, so you're in jail. Your final. So the judge said what? What did you get? What was your sentencing?
So I got a ton of fines. I ended up having 2 years probation, and it was supposed to be five. Like my lawyer at the time was like, "You're probably end up with like 5 years of probation, a 2 year suspended sentence. So if like I got in trouble, I'd automatically have to serve those 2 years, and I had to plead out to the five felonies. You know what I mean? Five aggravated
Yep.
assaults with a deadly weapon.
And then you were released from there, right to Pyramid.
Yeah, I mean, like it was crazy going from like being and like I didn't know I was getting out of jail. Like I didn't even know my deal until like I was actually back out on the streets again, which is like crazy to me.
Right.
Because like they called me and they're like, Tyler, pack it up, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't think you got the right person, but I'm telling you, like, you let me out those doors, like I'm not coming back. And
Fuck
they told me like
that.
you're going to pyramid, and I'm like, what? So like I got a hold of my family quick, and they're like, no, like that can't be right. And then my lawyer called my mother and was like, hey, like I'm working on something, like he's gonna be out soon. And I was like,
Wow.
all right, well, anywhere's better than here. Like, let's get this rolling. Where do I sign? Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Fuck. And then you released your family, and then you went to Pyramid, and then that's where we met. So when you got to Pyramid, what were your thoughts at that point? Like, I'm alive. My attempted suicide did not work. Um, I'm out after I got in a shootout with police, and I'm alive.
Yeah.
Now you hit a portion of your probation. I was going to a facility for three
Hmm.
months. Now you hit the facility. What was your game plan at that point? What
I
was
mean,
your
like
thoughts
going
on
into it,
drinking?
like when
What
I
were your
first, like,
thoughts on?
yeah, my first thing was like when I got out of there, like I knew like I had to actually like pursue further treatment, or like I was just gonna be like fall back in the same patterns. Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I did 30 days in rehab, or like 7 to 10 days in detox. And I'm like, in the big picture, like most people that show up in those places, like they haven't been using for a month or two, and you're not going to fix your addiction in like a month or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They told me just to stay until like, yeah. I was like, how long do I have to do here? And they're like, well, until they say you could leave the program. And I ended up staying there for what, 3 months. And
yeah,
I got to the point where I was just like, you know what, like I'm ready to go home and be with my family.
yeah,
And I mean, like walking in there, I'm just like, I'm going to take every opportunity like I have, to get better and, like progress in my life. I was like, I've been through this once, but I was also like, I mean, I was a little boy at the time. It was
yeah.
like
You
21
were.
years old. Like, I didn't understand the concept of like, um, really life at that point. And then, going back in, I was like, like I lived a little bit. Um, like I don't want to be, because you see it all the time. Like you go into a treatment, they're like, hey, this is like my eighth treatment I'm in this year. You know what I mean? You see people like that, or people that
Right.
have, what I mean, they've been in like, 30 different treatments over the last like 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, they're like, yeah, treatment helps and all that, but I feel like it loses impact. Like if you keep like going back at that point, like I feel like it becomes
Right.
part of like the cycle, you know what I mean, of addiction. Like, all right, I get clean for a little bit and then I'm back out here, and like I pick up on things like that. I'm like, I don't want to be like that. Like in and out of these places, get my life together, fuck it up again. Like nobody wants to live like that.
Yeah. I got two questions. The
Yeah.
first one is, were y'all really sneaking out on to the Wawa and to the CVS and shit?
I was never part of the crew that snuck out. but I may not have orchestrated the sneak outs.
You may or may not have ordered. You remember when the one fools got they got busted?
Yeah, he got like arrested and shit. And they put the trash can and like a basketball in his bed to make it look like he was still there. Yeah, I remember that quite fondly. I mean, like I tell people all the time, it's like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like the mob. Like they send other people to do dirty work. You know, when you need an energy drink in your rehab, you send someone else to do your dirty work.
Right? Now you know what? It wasn't to me it wasn't we're not gonna really shit where I ate at one point, but you already know, like they would have the two women dealing with how many ever men, 60 men, 58 men, or
Yeah,
one woman dealing with 58 men. I don't give a fuck where y'all went. But as long as I was on those cameras, I was working, lighting the cigarettes, just doing what I would do with all of that. Like if we had more staff, I feel that I would have been able to have a lot more one on one with different
hmm
people. It wouldn't have been just so quick. Didn't you just have to stay up late to talk to me?
yeah. I mean, like we'd be out there outside at like 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? At night, just like smoking cigarettes and chilling. Like, and it's crazy because you go to a place like that, like it's understaffed, and you can like see the people that like really want it, and the ones who are just like, I'm just here, man. Like, I'm here, like smoking
Yeah.
cigarettes, drinking coffee, like, and I really don't give a shit about anything else. And then you see the people who are like, you know what I mean? I want to put the work in, and get it together.
I'm so thankful. And like you said, there were so many people that are there that, rest in peace. They're not here anymore. When I speak of working at Pyramid, I was literally, and you were around people that were in what's that place down there, Kensington,
Yeah,
one of the two open air drug markets in the United States. It's right here in Pennsylvania, down there in Philly, but it's called Kensington. And literally, those people would come to us. I myself, I feel like God puts me in certain places at certain time for certain people. And he also does that for me. He puts certain people in my life so that I can work through my traumas. Um, so now you're here, and how much more probation do you have?
I'm actually done. I'm completely done.
You're done?
Um,
When did you cap out? When did you get done?
so what I had to do. So like I'm not monitored anymore. Like I don't have to be like bothered. I just December of this year, I'm just done. Like I signed my paperwork. Like I just can't get in trouble at the end of the year. And obviously, like I'm not out here looking for trouble, so I don't really have to worry about it. So it's like nice. Like I've heard a lot of people are like, "Oh, probation, like it's a trap door." You know what I mean? You'll be right on back in. But it's also like the same people you talk to that are like in jail for probation violation. Like, well, like what did you do if your probation officer lock you back up? And like, oh, I was getting high, or like I robbed a gas station. I'm like, well, no shit, idiot. What the fuck did you think was gonna happen by doing that? You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Um, Tyler, I want to play a song. I'm gonna take a break real quick. Are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to smoke a cigarette and listen to the song I got for you. It's an underground artist from Tucson, Arizona, and he gave me my props the other day. He's like you guys. He's like, "Oh, I'm so thankful," or he was thankful to have done music with me in the past. So I want to share you this song, just to get it out there today. And then when we come back, we're gonna talk about it, and it's only like 3 minutes. So if you want to smoke, that's cool. Um, when we come back, we're gonna talk about like how you feel now, reunited with your son, and anything that you, any advice that you would give to someone else that's been in your situation, maybe not your particular situation, but that's what we're gonna come back with. All right.
Okay.
And I also want to see what you think about this song.
All right, I got you.
You got to listen to the words.
Trust me, I will.
And
I'm
you
not going anywhere.
and you and it's called Trap Bando.
I got you.
All right, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. I pray for all of you inside the trenches when it's storm. I do what I gotta do. Can't lose myself inside this mud. I got too much to lose. Ain't no going back to what it was. And if I ever do, I'ma go harder than before. I pray for all of you inside the trenches when it's storm. I do what I gotta do. Can't lose myself inside this mud. I got too much to lose. Ain't no going back to what it was. And if I ever do, I'ma go harder than before. Yeah, ain't no going back to the trap. That's a trap though. Fuck what I choose rapping for. If I plan to stay in the bando, I've been there, I had O's, the bad hoes, I had those, but these days it's cash flow, and they wanna shackle, this just me, no backup, the love spread like cancer, it kills slow, the pills, they don't help it, ain't healthy, God help me, heart empty, don't feel shit, that's real shit, for the people that you live for, you kill shit, I pray for all of you, inside the trenches when it's storm, I do what I gotta do, can't lose myself inside this mud, I got too much to lose, ain't no going back to what it was, and if I ever do, I'ma go harder than before, I pray for all of you inside the trenches when it's storm. I do what I gotta do. Can't lose myself inside this mud. I got too much to lose. Ain't no going back to what it was. And if I ever do, I'ma go harder than before. I pray to God I cop a foreign. I be thankful for a Porsche. A lot of days I had no money, had to come up with a jug. In the streets, big finesse, and I can't lie, that's what it was. Nowadays they see you flexing, wanna kill you for a buzz. I brought the switch inside the club in case they try me. I'm a bust, no hesitation in my heart. I do that shit off of the rush. I can't lie about that shit. I'ma die about this shit, and don't be crying if I get hit. I was probably higher than a bitch. Riding through my city with your missus all on my side. World all on my dick. I'ma fuck this bitch till I die. Gotta get it how you live. I ain't stopping till it's on mine. I wish that everybody could be rich except the ops. Why is you lying? Fuck the ops, we got chops. Dirty choppers, we gon' chop them with the chopsticks.
That's cute, yo. I I try to kind of match a little bit of themes, like what
Yeah.
we're talking about, and I found that song to be different, but I liked it. What do you think about it?
I mean, I like it. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not really into. I'm into that rap music with like a message behind it, like not like a lot of the mumble rap they have out now. Like the mumble rap they have out now, like I can't stand it. So a song like that
Yeah,
actually has like a story behind it, I can get with.
that's a tough. And that's why I love you, Tyler. Like we're so diverse, and that's why I'm doing this is because we all have a testimony. And I was waiting for a little while. I said it before. I want to interview people in Kensington. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I I had to find a way that I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I had to find a way that I could literally reach back out and um, give testimonies. I feel like that's what I want to do now, is just record as many testimonies that I can because we're so diverse when it comes to substance abuse. It doesn't know a color, it doesn't know an age, it doesn't discriminate for anyone, and it's you for me and me for you, and I appreciate you. So what are you doing now? What's going on out here now for you?
Well, once I got out, I started my own business doing home restorations and landscaping because like I looked at it this way. I was just like, I will probably end up working at like McDonald's or Burger King making $15 an hour, like if I don't figure out something to do on my own. Um, especially like out where I'm from, like not a lot of people do what I did. So you know what I mean? Like people know who I am, stuff like that. Um, so it's definitely harder like to find an employment. So like I started my own home restoration and landscaping business and it really took off. Um,
I
so I literally do that full time on top of trying to be a father to a wrecking ball with legs. I mean, my son's crazy. Like, and also like when I know he's to do something wrong, gives you the same evil look like I used to make as a kid, and I'm like, man, I'm in trouble when he gets older.
Yeah, you know, they say all the problems you gave to your parents, one of yours is going to give it to you.
Oh, he's giving it back to me tenfold. I promise that. We're almost over the terrible twos, hopefully.
Hopefully. He's gorgeous, and I love it when you post the pictures. Post more. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't want your kid on social media like that, but post more. Um, Tyler, what advice would you give someone, like anyone, like someone your age, younger, that battles with depression, suicide, all of the things that you battled with?
Yeah. I mean, like if you double with like if you battle with like a dual diagnosis, and like I've been like read about like most people that have like an alcohol or drug dependency, there's usually something like deeper laying, you know what I mean? Like there's something that's chemically different in their brain. Maybe it's from like using the drugs, not using the drugs, maybe it was there beforehand. Um, or it could just be triggered from like using the drugs. It's just like find something that works for you. Like I hate when people are like, oh, like you got to attend like 90 meetings in 90 days and do this, that, the other thing. Cause that's what I did my first time around. And like literally within like 8 hours of coming home from Florida, like I had a drink in my hand. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy.
Wow.
And like nobody even questioned it. Nobody questioned it. They're like, hey, like he's not using like dope or meth, so like it shouldn't be a problem. And it like turned out to be a problem.
Yeah.
Um, which is crazy. And like educating people around you, like I would bend like my morals and like what I believed in for like other people. Like now I don't bend it because if you start bending, it's gonna break. Like I said, very stern boundaries. This is what I want. This is what I expect. And like
Yep.
this is the only thing I'm gonna accept. Like there's no A or B. It's just A, and like that's my way. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
like like finding your own way. Like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like the whole like meeting thing. Um, like meetings never like really worked for me. I'm like, come on, man. Like we're gonna sit here and talk about this book every day for 120 days. I read it from the front page to the back over and over again. And I'm like, it's very black and white. Like it's kind of like the Bible, for example. Like there's a
yes.
set of principles you have to live by, and like if there's a set of principles, if you can live by those for 24 hours a day, will determine if you're a piece of shit or not. Like it's a set of rules. It's honestly
Yeah.
a set of rules that will determine if you're a piece of shit or not for that
Yeah.
day. And like I can take it for what it is. Like a lot of people are just like, oh, is relapse a part of recovery and sitting here like arguing over that. I'm like, I don't I get what you're saying, but at the same time, like you're putting that as an option in your head as like a scapegoat. I was like, for me, like I want it to be once and done. Now I have to do this shit again and start all over again. Like I don't want to keep doing this my whole life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially having my son. I feel like that. Like if I didn't have him, it would be a lot harder for me. But I know like I don't want him to grow up the way I did or live through the shit that like I lived through. You know what I mean? So I have to be like better, not only for like him, but for myself too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You definitely got a second chance. There may be a third and a fourth, Um, but that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? You fall, you pick yourself back up, and then you'll get to a point where you're like, I can't believe I did all that fucking shit. Like, I
I,
can't
I
believe I did that.
every morning I'm just like, dude, like holy shit.
Yeah. What helps you now? Like, have you drank or do you still drink or what do you do?
I've had like hiccups, you know what I mean, here and there. I don't even consider them hiccups, like, that I have like a couple drinks here and there, and you know what I mean, just like completely like refrained from it. At this point in my life, I'm just like, this is like not really what I want. Like try having a beer and like it's just like, ugh. Like
Yeah.
I just can't do it anymore. I'm just like, I'm just
The taste is
trying
out
to
of your
live.
mouth.
Yeah, I'm just like, I just rather, wait till like I'm an old man and retired, and then I can do whatever the fuck I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at this point, like I'm not gonna be young forever, and I don't want to live a life that like when I'm 30, I look like I'm 50. You know what I mean? Like when I'm 50, I look like I'm 80. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't want to look 50 when I'm 50 either. No, I want to look 50 when I'm 50. I don't want to look 100 when I'm 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, Tyler, I appreciate you. It's something new for me. I might want you to come back on. We could talk again. Maybe you could come on listen to some music. If you find any underground music, new artists out there in Pennsylvania, send them to, not in Pennsylvania, like in your area, like down in Allentown, send them to me. If you know anybody else that's in recovery and wants to share their testimony, let me know. Um, you have any final thoughts?
I mean, I think my final thoughts is just like you just got to keep going. You know what I mean? I see people just like lay down, roll over, and like, give up too much. I mean, there's so many times throughout like this whole process, like just laid down, like rolled over, and just just giving the fuck up. Like just realizing like, hey, like I might not be able to live for me, but you definitely have someone else out there to live for, whether it's your kids, your family, something. There has to be something out there that you see worth living for. You know what I mean? Other than like drugs, alcohol, or like you getting beat down by the system.
Yeah. There is hope. You know what I'm saying? I know, like you said, when you were laying there in your apartment and for 6 hours, it was the most peace you ever felt, like next to death. But now when you look at it, like, aren't you so thankful that that has passed and you're not there anymore? Why would
Yeah,
you ever want to go through that again, you know?
exactly. And like seeing my son smile and just like hearing like dad, and like laughing and stuff like that. I'm just like, damn. And now like he's about to turn 3 on the 26th. I'm like, you know what I mean? I get to see my son for his birthday. I get to live like these moments with him. Like that genuinely brings me peace. Like if it wasn't for him, like I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now.
I appreciate you, Tyler. You're an amazing man. I am so thankful to be following your journey, and I just want to see what comes next for you. That business, like, how much you make in a year? No, I'm just it's about to be snow season. Do you plow and stuff in the winter? Or?
No, 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 no. I do not like snow.
Yeah, the more. So
That,
you're
that's when
doing
that's when I
the
take my ass inside and start painting houses.
okay. You just do the interior rather than the exterior.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, I'm gonna not take up too much of your time. I'll let you go get back with your family, but I really do thank you for you coming on, sharing your story, and just chatting it up with me. I sure do appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss D, for having me.
No, it's no problem. I'll have you over and over again. I definitely missed your vibe, and again,
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you. Hold on, really quick. Look who's here. Come here. You don't remember? You gotta come here and say hi. She said she don't. She said you don't remember her. Come here, look.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
You
good. I'm
remember
good.
Ty?
Like he's like no.
You don't remember Ty?
I guess not.
Well,
No.
first of all, I was never put together at work.
She was never put together at work. She was our overnight nurse.
She has to remember me then.
I don't think we talked, but I don't think. I mean, well, if he was supposed to talk to you, like I had to be there, but it probably wasn't. I'm not memorable.
She don't remember shit. She smokes too much weed. Too much weed. Too much marijuana.
I was about to say, listen, I was the one stealing the ice pack to keep his drink cold at night. Like I remember that very vividly. I was like, no, we're not drinking something that's piss warm here. Like we got a bunch of ice packs. I need those.
I appreciate you so much, Tyler. Thank you so much, babe.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
I remember his face.
You remember him? Well, guess what, guys? That's another episode down. Miss No Rear View, never looking back, always moving forward, gathering testimonies out here. We're going to be celebrating Black Excellence this week with Miss Ty Noel, so you guys will be able to get to know who she is. But again, I thank you for all being here. Anybody who's watching it afterwards, again, it's Miss No Rear View. Peace.